That's Hunter.
Yo, it's truly good with you guys. We're back at it, and I want to break down my latest single that just dropped. It's called Vibes Down the Strip, and we did this in Studio One Pro 7. And I want to just start this bigger conversation of it really doesn't matter what DAW you use. I actually did this beat for a presonus clinic out here in ATL at Mixnick. Shout out to presonus for having me, and shout out to my guy Wavy Wayne for bringing me out. And it went from being something to show to it being my latest single.
That's Hunter.
I actually started with some drums here, and these drums are layered. The sauce of the swing is the hi-hats really being kind of delayed behind the kick. So if we look at the kick's transient right here, and then we look at the hi-hat transient down here, you can see there's a disparity there. There's some latency. So the kick, and I believe one of these claps are dead on the grid. I think it's the first clap in the kick. So these are the anchors. So when you're programming your drums, you can definitely quantize. I quantize from time to time, but I let the hi-hats really swing by having that delay. And then the next tip that I want to give you guys is layering claps to sound like real hand claps, or like a real gang clap where you have stuff like this. So how to get a sound like that is I have the anchor quantized little clap here, or like a rim that's dead on. So then I have a clap that's ahead of that rim here. And it's like a gang clap. So we get this. You hear how it's right in front of it. It's like chika. So we have this original sample here. This is the original. So that is from Splice. And of course, as you know, or if you don't know, we have Splice integration here built into Studio One. So we can just come over here to Splice, and you can now actually engage with Splice directly in the DAW, which is crazy. Then I threw it into Serato. I used a third-party sampler to get some chops. So I did all the chopping in here, and I actually did all the chops to eighth notes. And I actually pitched this up a half step. So this just gives it a more brighter sound. So bounced it down to audio, and then you can easily do that by just right clicking, and then you can go to your events here, and then you can do to bounce selection, which is Command B, or you can do bounce to new track, which is Option and Command B here. So from this, I got the stems. So we could just do Command U, and boom, we can extract the stems. So that's what we did. So now we have the stems over here now. So this one, we just have the vocal. Let's go over here. And then I have the drums, which is the kick. And I actually left it in there because it's giving us some anticipation. So if I solo the sample here, you hear that boom, boom, boom. And it's adding to that boom, 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 boom. So it's just giving us that nice bounce. And then we have the bass separate. So what I love about getting the stems of a sample is now I can actually process these like I have the multi-tracks. So what I mean is we can come over to our mixer. You can see I put some EQ on the vocals here, EQ on the drums, and some EQ on the bass here. So yeah, so I was able to process the stems, the individual stems. This gives you full control now to treat a sample of, you know, it's now a part of your track. It's like getting the multi-tracks of the sample, which is fire. Then I was able to take the vocals and pitch them down an octave just to give us a new variance here. So this is for our B section. We can right click and then transpose that down, whatever. So I transposed it down to octave. So let's get into some bass here. I used my sub 37, my actual sub 37. I have it routed into my interface going into Studio One. What I put on the bass is actually unique. Just fooling around in Studio One, I actually just used the multi-band compressor on a bass. I've never done this before, but I want you guys to hear the difference. So let's turn this off. On. It's like it brings the bass up close into your face. So I'll exaggerate it so you can peep it. That's what's allowing it to cut through the phone when you're listening on Instagram and TikTok and all the things. That specific frequency is actually helping us a lot. So yeah, this was very unique. Yeah, so, you know, just having some fun, getting a little musical. So as a strategy for your production, whatever you have that is an advantage over maybe the next person, exploit that, use that. That gives you your character, your vibe. So for me being a musician, although I try to create a simplistic vibe for people to, you know, have a good time with, I also hint in there that, hey, you know, I'm also musically inclined. I'm not the best keyboard player in the world, but I am inclined. As far as the mastering goes, I just went into the Pro EQ first, and this is stock. So I'm not doing much. I'm just bringing up a little 2K, a little bit of close to 50 hertz down here. And then I went into the God particle, as you guys know, if you've been following the channel. Got some character going on here. And then I got this about 8 dB or so. I had a lot of headroom going into this though. So with my levels, with mixing, as you can see my faders, I had a ton of headroom to be able to push the God particle to +8. And then Ozone is kind of doing like the official release distribution kind of last little bit of stuff here. I didn't use any EQ. I only used the imager, and I only use this to basically mono out the low end. So that's just straight down the middle. And by the way, you're going to need headphones to hear this part of it. Or if you turn your computer or your TV all the way up, you might be able to hear it. So what I've done is I modeled out the sub low end so that could be just straight down the middle. So you can really feel the low end where it's needed. And then we just have this threshold here just to get rid of the last little peaks. This isn't a fancy session, guys. This actually took off on Instagram and TikTok, and people were, you know, having so much fun vibing out to it. I didn't overthink it. I didn't go in and over process the track. I just went in and just added a few little safety measures to get it ready for distribution. And it's out now, and you know, it's doing its thing, and it's been a blessing. It really doesn't matter what you use. What matters is the creativity inside you and what DAW speaks to you, what DAW inspires you as your main. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give your brother a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss anything else from the channel. And guys, if you want to support the channel, I have sound packs and templates and masterclasses now available. You can check out all of those down below. Thank you so much, and I'll holler at you in the next one. Peace.